Welcome back, gamers. Today we're going to check out the dice chucking game Las Vegas, which is all to do about throwing dice and making lots of money by Ravensburger Games. Let's check it out. Alright, inside of Las Vegas we will find 4-page color instructions. Awesome, easy to understand. 5 sets of 8 dice. Awesome for throwing. We got red, green, blue, black, and white. 6 casino pieces, numbered 1 through 6. A starting player card with, I don't know, what is that, John Travolta? Get out of here. And a stack of banknotes numbered 10,000 through 90,000. Money, money, money. The goal of Las Vegas is to have the most money after your 4 nights on the town. To start the game, you'll set out the 6 casino tokens, 4, 5, and 6. You'd hand out the first player card to the oldest player, typically me, and shuffle up the banknote cards. Then, you'll place one at a time at each casino as long as it adds up to 50,000. If not, you'll add another one. That's a 20, that's a 40, 60,000, perfect. 50, 30, 90, 20, 60. Then, hand out a set of 8 dice to each player and get to rolling. On your turn in Las Vegas, you shake up all the dice and give them a roll. And then you group them together by number. Let's see, 3 2s, 4 4s, and 1 1. You can then place all of any one number on its corresponding casino. Let's say, I really like the look of that 80,000 on number 2. I put all 3 of my dice on that 80,000 on the number 2 casino. At that point, I'm down to only 5 dice left. And on my next turn, I get to roll those 5. Those 2s that I placed originally stay there till the end of this round, basically until everyone's out of dice. And as the game goes on, other people might get 2s. Maybe they get more. At the end of the round, whoever has the most dice on each casino gets that money. However, some casinos will have multiple banknotes. And in this case, players fight for these ones that they want. Let's say I have 1, and my opponent has 2. In this case, the person with the most would get the highest banknote, the 40,000, and the player with the next most would get the second highest, the 20,000. But if both of us ended up with 3 on here, none of us would get anything. Additionally, if you're the only player on a casino, you don't get all of them, you only get the highest valued banknote. And then, basically after 4 rounds of everyone running out of your dice, you add up your money, whoever has the most wins. Simple, and a ton of fun. And that's basically Las Vegas. A very simple game, but it's really fun. There's nothing like grabbing 8 dice and throwing them across the table and seeing what you get. Especially fun as it comes down to the last couple dice. You have 1 left, and man, you're hoping for that number 2 to get that $90,000. It feels like gambling in Vegas. You throw that thing, please give me that number, boom, take it all the way home. It's super fun, but it is very light. Our friend was not much of a gamer. She brought it over for us to play, and we all loved it. It's great fun. Maybe not a lot of super depth and strategy to keep coming back to it and think up new strategies, but as a little light, fun party game, we love it. It's great. For Las Vegas, for a score of fun, I gave it an 8. It is a blast to grab all those dice, throw them all over the table, and to yelling and screaming at each other, oh my gosh, I'm going to take all that money from you, oh my gosh, what have you done, we don't get any now. Therefore, I gave it a score of 8. We just have had a blast every time we've played it, and a lot of our friends that have come over, especially non-gamers, have really enjoyed it too. For strategy, I gave Las Vegas a score of 4. Now, I mean, the strategy is kind of basically play as least amount of dice as you can and go for the big money, but you don't really get to choose. You roll dice and you kind of get what you get. Of course there is, I mean, especially in the beginning, you have 8 dice and you have some decisions to make, but it's not a huge strategy game, it's just about the fun of rolling a bunch of dice. Ease, for Las Vegas I gave it a score of 5, and I think that's really fitting since this will probably be my shortest video. It doesn't really take anything more than rolling the dice and matching those pips to the numbers on the casino. Pretty simple. Replayability, I gave Las Vegas a score of 3. It is always fun to come back. There's nothing really amazing or new that's going to happen in any game, but it is fun enough, like I said, just to throw that many dice around and play with that kind of big money. So we come back to it fairly often. Randomness. I gave Las Vegas a random score of -4. Because you're not just stuck with one roll, it keeps going around, and you can make some decisions. It doesn't have a score of -5, but it is a dice rolling game, and the game is basically getting what you get. Setup, I gave Las Vegas a setup score of -2. It doesn't take a ton to set up, you just set up the casinos, but each round you have to redo out the money and make sure there's 50,000 on each one, so that just bumps it up just a little bit from kind of a lot of the card games I play. Cost, Las Vegas isn't a super expensive game, so it got a cost score of -2. I think it's well worth it, especially for if you have a big group. It plays basically 3 to 5 players very well and is well worth the cost. Players, I gave Las Vegas a score of 4. It does, like I said, play 3 to 5 players very well. You can play 2 players, but on 2 players, both players take a kind of the white dice, and that is kind of like a person who's not really there, a neutral die that can usurp some of your attempts at scoring the money. So that's a little weird and not quite as fun as playing with the 3 to 5 kind of normal player limit. Theme, for Las Vegas, I gave it a score of 3. You really do feel like you're kind of in the casinos throwing these dice, but there's not a whole lot really to draw you in. The only connection point is the dice, and at least you get a lot of them, and you're working towards kind of these big sums of money, but you don't get bills or casino chips, which I think would bump the score up a little bit. Quality, I gave Las Vegas a quality score of 2. Now it is really nice and it does come with a lot of dice, and the little, I guess the box art really reminds me of kind of the old games my parents played, and I really like that. But it would have been nice if the dice were maybe custom. Like on the box it shows these nice translucent dice, which would have been awesome if everybody had some of those. There could have been some little things, I think, to bump up the quality for this game that could have been done. So, and they weren't, and maybe that saves on the cost, but therefore the quality score goes down a little bit. Duration for Las Vegas, I gave it a score of 3. Kind of right in the middle. You do 4 of the rounds, and everybody has different kind of lengths of time, rolling and deciding what they're going to do. And it goes up a little bit with the more players you have, but not much. So it's kind of right in the middle. Not a super heavy game, but it's enough to fill some time and really have a good time doing it. In total, for Las Vegas, I gave it a score of 68. This is a very good game. There are some little things as part of my scoring critique that it falls behind on a little bit, which kind of lowers its score, but it's definitely a fun game that we play a lot when we have a big group of people and we want to have kind of a very fun, rowdy time.